This evening, President Granger faces the nation. Traffic Department hosts annual press conference. One doctor from Linden gives back for his birthday. In the region, in St. Lucia, taxi drivers receive emergency medical training. And internationally, sub-Saharan Africans are fleeing Libya after reports of abuse.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Rival Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Join us. Today, President David Granger held his first press conference since assuming office in 2015. Wendell Jeffrey was there and filed this report.
Today, after many months, the Guyana President David Granger held a press conference at his office on Chandapal Drive in Georgetown. It has been 2.5 years since the coalition government was elected.
The government of Guyana last month arrived at the middle of its term.
The president said that the economy grew even ever so slightly over the last 2 years.
The nation's economy has been prudently managed over the past 30 months when compared particularly with some of the distress that other countries have been enduring. This prudence has allowed for moderate economic growth of 3.1% in 2015 and 3.3% in 2016.
His Excellency said that Guyana continues to attract investors because it is growing. He said that the people don't come here in a country to invest to lose money.
There's a reason why they're coming. There's a reason why they're coming. Because Guyana is growing. They don't come to lose money.
Mr. Granger bragged about the fact that the minimum wage has increased to more than twice the amount since his government assumed office.
Public servants' minimum wage increased by over 50% within the past 26 months. And these measures boosted workers' disposable income, the take-home pay.
The situation with Gaisuku attracted extended comments from the president.
And we are particularly concerned about the sugar industry and, of course, the sugar workers. The government has provided $31 billion in financial support for the Guyana Sugar Corporation. Because we are concerned with protecting workers' livelihood, we understand the plight of workers, and we did not want to take any rash decisions which would jeopardize their quality of life. But at the same time, we have to arrest the financial hemorrhaging of the industry. And I think you've got within your package a copy of the state paper or white paper on the sugar industry. You can see from that paper that the sugar industry is not being shut down. It is being consolidated, and we hope to have 3 mega estates, one in East Berbice, one in West Berbice, and one in West Demerara. And we want to make those 3 mega estates viable and profitable.
Some time ago, the president took flack for his reference to the selling of planting chips as an entrepreneurial exercise. Today, the president doubled down on that suggestion.
Some people call it the planting chip economy. But I'd like those same people to go to the regional exhibitions which we've been holding around the country and see women coming out of Yupukari and Iowa, see housewives getting into the microeconomy, and you can see that there's something happening in Guyana. It may start with planting chips. So small things could end up big.
For Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. In their end-of-the-year press conference, the Guyana Police Force's Traffic Department disclosed a drop in road fatalities for the year. Esther Sobers has more details in this report.
Today, the Guyana Police Force Traffic Department, along with the National Road Safety Council, held their annual press conference to address their yearly road traffic statistics.
As a result of what transpired, you would have remembered last year in the month of September we have launched Operation Safeway. in accidents and deaths. Accidents were 89 accidents with 96 deaths, which had shown us that we were at the time recording a 43% increase in accidents and a 70% increase in deaths. This year, we noticed that that figure has since changed, and we are noticing a significant decrease in accidents. To couple that, we've introduced several strategies, some of which are enforcement, make maximum use of our radar guns and our breathalyzer machine. We increase patrols mostly by night when we recognize that most of these critical accidents occur during night.
Traffic Chief of Guyana Police Force, Dion Moore, also spoke of the challenges as well as the major strides made throughout the year.
For driving under influence of alcohol, we charged 2,589 drivers, as against 2,401. Additionally, we recognize that cell phone use has become very prevalent, not only by virtue of making a call, but by virtue of sending a text, reading a text, or trying to WhatsApp someone. There's been a lot of distraction in driving. As against that, we've charged 1,622 drivers, as against 1,501 last year.
To make even greater strides in ensuring that the Christmas season is accident-free, the GPF is considering creative ways to prevent drunk driving. The GPF, with the assistance of NextGem Global, the National Road Safety Council, and several companies, will provide partying patrons with a designated driver-free, non-alcoholic beverage at various events.
We wanted to try to do something a little bit different. With the sponsors who've come on board and the promotions that we're doing, we want to make sure, as Chief said, a designated driver should be able to party with everyone else. So people take the Christmas spirit a little bit too lightly. I mean, it's not just one spirit. They imbibe the spirits rather than celebrate the spirit. So we were trying this year a program that's going to be sponsored by Collaborating, ourselves and the insurance companies and McCall, whereby a designated driver coming to the parties or the events that we host will have unlimited non-alcoholic beverages at our expense for the entire night. And this way we hope that that will save the lives of the persons who will be traveling in the vehicles with those persons.
The Guyana Police Force would like to remind persons of this year's road safety theme. Making roads safer for everyone starts with you. Observe, think, drive. A second is all it takes to save a life. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, I'm Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away. We have more news for you after the break. Stay with us.
Shop at John Lewis Styles in December and you could win one RCA tablet every day. Yes, every day. And that's not all. 4 persons will win $1 million to spend in the store. Just imagine, $1 million in clothing, shoes, and accessories. Enter to win with every $5,000 you spend. So shop now to win 1 tablet every day and $1 million to spend in the store. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Season's greetings from Kisul's Furniture Store.
We bless the Lord, bless the Lord, bless the Lord.
Get ready for the concert of a lifetime. The Restoration Life Ministries presents Worship His Majesty on December 14th at 6 p.m. Restoration Life Ministry with special guests Samuel Medas, Earl Bishop, RLM Dancing, Pastor Sean Sobers, and the Prophetic Brief. Don't you miss this. It's Saturday, December 14th, 6 p.m. Admission free. Hosted by Apostle Ridley.
It's that time of year when you break out all the cool and fancy stuff to decorate your home. National Hardware Supercenter and Water Street locations got the ideal furniture collection for the dining and living rooms. Choose from these quality sofa sets and recliners to add that perfect holiday setting. Our stylish dining sets will add a unique touch of class to your decor. The quality and designs are unmatched. We add that extra feeling of Christmas with this choice of furniture in the mega holiday deals happening now at your Do It Best store's National Hardware.
For the best Creole food in town, come to Ridley's Restaurant. Taste our hot meals, fresh bread, and sweet pastries. Our spacious dining hall is free for all occasions. For reservations and more, call 226-2518 or 225-7245. We're open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wrigley's Restaurant, located at 38 Robb Street, Laceytown, between King and Wellington Streets. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Ridley's Restaurant. Tasty and healthy eating.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you have a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Welcome back. The labor movement is deeply rooted in Guyana's history, which makes today's signing of the Decent Work Country program all the more significant. Here's more.
Decent work has to do with the protection not only of jobs and creation of better jobs, it has to be the protection of social cohesion, the protection of those who made a contribution to the society, to see that they live a life, a meaningful life, with dignity.
In conjunction with the Ministry of Social Protection, Department of Labor, has signed two major documents: the Decent Work Country Program and the Skills for Green Jobs Study. The Decent Work Program outlines priorities aimed at addressing employment and labor issues in Guyana. The Skills for Green Jobs Study was conducted between June and September 2017 and provides analysis and in-depth case studies of skills and green policies or initiatives, presenting insights and recommendations. Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu emphasized that Guyana has a history of green job creation, and for many Guyanese, these existing jobs are the tools for ending poverty.
Agriculture is the gateway for decent job in rural areas.
Director of the International Labor Organization, Claudia Konyarts, explained the importance of the program.
And is intended to enable our ILO constituency, the workers, the employers, and the ministries of labor to clip the decent work agenda in the national planning process, particularly the Green State Development Strategy, which is the country's roadmap to achieving the 2030 agenda.
Konyarts stressed the need for the creation of sustainable and dignified jobs to cater to a modern-day global workforce. In her view, this responsibility falls on the Ministry of Labor.
Jobs are key to both social and economic prosperity, and not just any jobs, but decent jobs. We come to realize that jobs that get people out of poverty don't just flow out of an investment or an economic diversification strategy. More than ever, the world of work issues permeate every other aspect of policy making. and ministries of labor have a key role in actively engaging in national planning and bringing in the social partners.
To achieve this, the program will focus on 3 key areas: the improvement of working conditions in getting people out of the informal economy, the creation of an enabling environment for enterprises, and uniting workers and employers to work together with the government. The opposition party held a press conference to ask questions regarding the 2018 budget estimates. Wendell Jeffrey has more.
George, yesterday the PPP held a press conference at the opposition head office there in Church Street. And the discussions focused mainly at looking at why the speaker truncated the discussions for matters to be debated under the office of the presidency and the millions that are allotted there, and there was no discussions about those monies. The meeting was chaired by Juan Egil, and he is adamant that there's a correlation, a direct correlation between the speaker preventing him from speaking and the government colluding to pass monies without any scrutiny, as you will hear from this press conference.
Please,
Mr. Egil, I stand
Mr. Jeffrey,
I stand on principle, Mr. Egil.
Mr. Jeffrey.
This is the press conference, Mr. Egil.
No, but you can't dominate the press conference.
But you were dominating Parliament.
No, don't come with that accusation.
This is the press conference.
Don't come with that.
You can't call the press and tell them what you want to tell them, and then when we ask a question.
No, I'm saying to you, Mr. Jeffrey, respectfully, I'm checking to see if there are questions on the natural resources sector and the agriculture sector from other members of the press before I allow you to have further questions.
Oh, okay, so.
Because they made presentations. And if you would like to have a one-on-one with any member on a specific item, we will allow that. But we have a time allotted to the press conference because colleagues have to get back to Parliament. I have another engagement that I will need to be at 12:30. So I have to leave here. It's not a matter of curtailing you. Any questions for natural resources and agriculture?
Yesterday, at the office of the opposition, 4 PPP members of Parliament hosted a press conference to again remind the press of what the PPP members were not allowed to ask during the just concluded sitting of the House. In the press conference, Channel 2 Headline News sought to question the PPP panel on items that were raised. One of the issues raised by the PPP was what they termed a redistribution of lands by the Ministry of Lands and Surveys, actions which Mr. Egil termed corrupt.
The corruption at the lands and survey and the runnings involved there and the redistribution of lands, where the lands and surveys are taking lands from people who had lands before and they're redistributing it to political supporters.
Channel 2 asked Mr. Egil if it is not true that under the last administration, letters were sent out to land leasers instructing them that lands that were not used would be reclaimed and redistributed, to which the minister answered this way.
Well, what I can just say to you, I am not speaking about normal, routine administrative work, that if you have a land and you don't pay up the lease, you have to be coming to determine if you still want the land. I'm not talking about those administrative things that you're talking about.
So,
what you are referring to is normal, routine administration, because if you have a lease, you have to pay your upgrade your lease and so on. Right. We're talking about bigger issues than that.
The former junior minister of finance did not exactly say what he was speaking about. When pressed to answer certain questions, Mr. Clement Rohi told Headline News that he was not prepared to answer questions that were occasioned from the issues raised by Bishop Egil, even though Mr. Egil was the one who mentioned the issues.
We are dealing with the budget and the estimates which we were expected to answer, to ask questions on the question, for example, of security and infrastructure, and minutes from the presidency,
agriculture, natural resources.
Bishop Egil then sought to agree with Mr. Rohi that I should not ask questions based on the matters that he raised in the press conference.
I brought up the issues saying that there will have been questions asked on land and Survey and Land Management had I been allowed to go have questions on the capital budget of the Ministry of the Presidency. These questions were not allowed because the guillotine and the time delay tactics was used. In the appropriate time, by way of written questions to the minister, these questions with the specific things you're looking for will be asked, and when the answers are given, you will have your story.
At the press conference, the PPP also claimed to have information that the government used $100 million to purchase 5 bulletproof vehicles.
There are 5 bulletproof vehicles that have been procured and delivered to the Ministry of the Presidency in 2017, when there was no budgetary allocation in 2017.
When asked for proof that the government did indeed purchase the bulletproof vehicles, the now suspended MP said this.
Last week, Thursday, I told you this is how the country gets information. We make an exposure, the government denies, then we bring the empirical evidence, and then they go into damage control mode. At this stage, I'm waiting for the denial. When they deny it, we will come forward with what you're asking for.
Channel 2 Headline News also asked Mr. Edgell if the Constitution does not allow the government, any government, to spend monies and then ratify the spending at a formal sitting of the Parliament. The MP answered the question this way.
That comes by way of a contingencies fund advance. And a contingencies fund advance could only be accessed if something is urgent, unavoidable, and in issues of a disaster.
In early 2014, then PPP Minister of Finance Dr. Ashni Singh spent $4.5 billion of the monies cut from that year's national budget. In June of that year, Dr. Singh tabled a financial paper seeking the approval of the House for the extra budgetary spending. Also in early 2015, the opposition APNU sought declarations requesting the courts to order the PPP government to not spend the loan from the recently signed agreement between Guyana and the Inter-American Development Bank. The monies at the time were not deposited into the consolidated fund. In the press conference yesterday, the PPP also spoke of the overstaffing of the Office of the Presidency.
The new staffing in the Ministry of the Presidency, 168 new people are on the staff, above what they had last year. This year they're hiring 168 new people. We wanted to know where these people can be housed, which building you're putting them in. We believe these are political operatives out there in the region, but they're just on the payroll.
It would be remembered that when the government changed in 2015, several of the workers who were on the payroll at the President's office under the PPP did not show up for work and have not shown up for work since. Member of Parliament Juan Edgell highlighted several times during the press conference that the recent debates of the estimates under the Office of the Presidency were curtailed because the government feared his scrutiny.
The Speaker carefully avoided Edgell being allowed to ask to sit down and you're out of order. So that is why Edgell is out of Parliament. That is why the budget went without scrutiny. Because we weren't talking here about fancy $2 and $3 and so on. We're talking about major slush funds, major scandals, and misuse of resources.
George, there you have it. When I was leaving the press conference yesterday, after the press conference was over, I was approached by Mr. Kwame McCoy, who was the press liaison officer under the PPP. And he asked 2 questions of me. He said, is it not true that the PPP was voted out of office because of corruption and claims of corruption and cronyism? And then he asked, why then is this government using the PPP as their standard? Before I could attempt an answer at the questions, he walked away. Back to you, George.
Thanks, Wendell. Dr. Joseph Haynes celebrated his birthday by giving back to the children of Linden. Here's more from that event. Dr. Joseph Haynes is a man who is proud of his hometown of Linden. He's been giving back to the community for years, but last year he began to do things a little differently. Since his birthday falls within the Christmas season, he's decided it's better to give than to receive.
So a birthday celebration that we normally do, this is the second year now, and we've decided to do it to share with the kids. And those fortunate adults, whoever are lucky to get the extra things that we give away. But it's basically something that we've thought of and came up with, and we felt that to celebrate our birthday, the best thing we can do is to share it with the kids.
According to Dr. Haynes, close to 1,000 children and their parents came out for an evening of music, dance, and gift-giving at the Toucan Mall in Amelia's ward. The event was topped off with a Christmas tree lighting and a visit from Santa Claus. For this event, Dr. Haynes doesn't solicit anyone for donations or sponsorship. He also understands that this is an unusual way to celebrate one's birthday. It was actually his childhood that inspired him to give back in such a way.
I remember when I was a child. When I was a kid, I always wanted something for Christmas. And there are many children who have unfortunate situations and probably don't get anything for Christmas. So we try to fill that gap, to provide something for people who may not be able to get anything.
He also took the time to give back to the young athletes coming out of Linden. This year has been a very good year for Linden, with 4 athletes bringing home gold and silver medals in several regional and international competitions. This fills Dr. Haynes with pride.
I am so happy that the children have delivered for Guyana, for Linden, and I want to ensure that I do my part in assisting them to achieve further and higher heights. I would like to see them get to the Olympics and bring back gold. So I want to be a part of that success story.
The turnout was much larger than expected, which points to the popularity of the event. Dr. Haynes plans to make next year an even bigger celebration. Don't go away. Still ahead, we have our regional news, our international news, and your 7-day weather forecast. Stay with us.
Season's greetings from Kisul's Furniture Store.
For the best Creole food in town, come to Ridley's Restaurant. Taste our hot meals, fresh bread, and sweet pastries. Our spacious dining hall is free for all occasions. For reservations and more, call 226-2518 or 225-7245. We're open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wrigley's Restaurant, located at 38 Robb Street, Laceytown, between King and Wellington Streets. For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Ridley's Restaurant. Tasty and healthy eating.
Shop at John Lewis Styles in December and you could win one RCA tablet every day. Yes, every day. And that's not all. 4 persons will win $1 million to spend in the store. Just imagine, $1 million in clothing, shoes, and accessories. Enter to win with every $5,000 you spend. So shop now to win 1 tablet every day and $1 million to spend in the store. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
It's that time of year when you break out all the cool and fancy stuff to decorate your home. National Hardware Supercenter and Water Street locations got the ideal furniture collection for the dining and living rooms. Choose from these quality sofa sets and recliners to add that perfect holiday setting. Our stylish dining sets will add a unique touch of class to your decor. The quality and designs are unmatched. We add that extra feeling of Christmas with this choice of furniture in the mega holiday deals happening now at your Do It Best store's National Hardware.
And now we take a look at the region. In St. Lucia, taxi operators recently underwent an emergency medical services training exercise. The course is a prerequisite for licensing and certification. The training is intended to help the taxi drivers to provide better services to customers. HTS News Force has more.
In December, taxi operators in the South received instruction in basic first aid techniques. The training will help operators care for injured passengers. The basic aid training is a requirement by the Tourism Ministry.
I am happy that we guys are doing it because it will help us in our quest, so to speak, as taxi drivers to provide a better service, to provide what the guest needs. Actually, today we are basically doing what you would call a medical course, which will teach us a lot more as to how to go about first aid and stuff like that. We've been learning a lot for the past week.
The course also urges drivers to adopt healthier lifestyles.
If they are transporting a tourist, or tourists call it that, if they are transporting them and something were to happen, but at the same time it's more than that. It is about teaching them about the health, about the whole holistic aspect of health. Health is not just being sick or not being sick. It's more than that. It's about psychological health. It's about social health. It's about all of that. Mental health. So all of that in its entirety, right, makes you a healthy person or not. So we are there to actually teach them about, the whole aspect of health, and then to teach this aspect of this basic first aid, which is another component of health, as to if something happens, what to do.
It is hoped that the training will help taxi operators make the tourist experience more pleasant.
They have to go through this course to be certified in order that they can be considered as taxi operators and be given, I believe, be given the legal status as taxi operators in this place. But what happens is that we want them to know that they would be the first face for St. Lucia, meaning that they would be the first persons to meet up with the tourists. So therefore, if they create a good impression to the tourists, well, then the tourists will have a different impression about St. Lucia, would think good about St. Lucia, and would want to come back, probably for a second time. So they are the ones who create that impression.
Taxi operators must pass the emergency medical services training in order to obtain a license. Chelsea Joseph, HTS News Force.
Interesting. Maybe Guyana should consider such a move. And internationally, about 60 migrants from Libya have been returned to Sierra Leone. This comes as reports of abuse in Libya, which includes allegations of migrants being sold in slave trade markets. Al Jazeera's Nina DeVries reports from Freetown.
They arrived tired and traumatized to a stadium in Freetown to recuperate after an appalling experience in Libya. The International Organization for Migration, or IOM, flew these migrants back in partnership with the Sierra Leone government. Momo Alpha left Sierra Leone because he couldn't find work. The United Nations Development Program says 70% of youth are unemployed or underemployed in Sierra Leone. He had hopes of reaching Germany, where his brother is, and Libya is the gateway there. Once Momo arrived in Libya, he was put in prison, forced to live in squalid conditions.
You are beaten badly, and the prison guards always ask for money. If you don't give it to them, they will continue beating you, and sometimes you can be shot dead.
Momo's brother managed to send him money from Germany. Mohammed Bangura was working in Libya, but his employers never paid him. Instead, they asked his family to send them money. When that didn't happen, they broke Mohammed's foot.
So I'm happy today I'm in my country, I have my freedom. Thank God for that.
Once the migrants have had a chance to settle back in Sierra Leone, they will then go through a reintegration process with IOM. That will include a total of €1,050.
€50 will be used as onward assistance ship transportation, which will be issued out today for them to go back and reconnect with their family. The €1,000 that's left will be used for them as for business, accommodations, education, or whatever it is they want to do.
The United Nations estimates about 700,000 migrants are in Libya. The IOM plans to fly 15,000 migrants home from detention centers in Libya before the end of the year. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs says they are looking at ways to address the issue of people leaving Sierra Leone.
Government is working with the sub-region ECOWAS, AU, to work out border, control systems for us to enhance, or to tackle this issue of migration.
As for Momo, he just hopes he will be able to find work back in his homeland. Nina DeVries, Al Jazeera, Freetown.
And now for your 7-day weather forecast. And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Friday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in 6:30 Sunday evening for a rebroadcast, and Monday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. Also, stay tuned to this week's installment of Safe TV Presents, where we'll be having a discussion on Christmas with Pastor Wendell Jeffrey and Haji Roshan Khan. That's tonight at 8 p.m. But until then, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed weekend.